our channel, the foundation of our channel is entrepreneurship, capitalism, business owners, being unplugged and doing things on your own terms rather than kind of going with the system. And obviously your channel, Entrepreneurs in Cars, there's a lot of simpatico going on there. I kind of, I would say 90% of our audience are young men, 20s, 30s, what have you. I'm in my early 40s. I kind of look at myself as like a big brother to some of these guys, right? Like 10 years younger than me. Are you late 40s, early 50s? How old are you right now?
Yeah, we can say late 40s, early 50s.
Okay.
I've gotten to the point where I realize it's better to keep information about me as private as possible, so I don't give away stuff like that.
So where I understand that. Where I'm gonna go with this is I kind of look at you as like as an uncle, right? Whereas I'm more of a big brother, you're more of an uncle. But the point is, I'm someone who looks at you as like, I want to get to where Richard is at, and there's young guys that look at me as like, I want to get to where it's Adam's at. There's levels to this. So where I want to kind of go here is, real quickly, is goals. Whether it's financial, dating, and life goals. Real quick, in your opinion, what goals should a man reach by age 30, by age 40, and by age 50? So let's start with the first one. A guy in their 20s, where should they try to reach goals, financial, dating, and life goals by age 30? Then we'll go down the line.
So as far as life goals, I mean, you got to get your health sorted out. I mean, if you can't live in a healthy, masculine, strong body, you're not going to fix your mind. There's too many guys walking around carrying way too much weight. They're either obese or morbidly obese. There's somewhere on the scale where they just are not fit. I mean, if you get out of the shower and you look down and you can't see your Johnson, you got weight to lose. And there's a lot of dudes in their 20s that need to fix that first. So that would be the number one thing that I would say is get your health right. And you have no excuse for it in your 20s, literally in your 20s. Most guys, even when I was growing up, our fitness regime, included eating a bag of Doritos, smoking a joint, pounding back a protein shake, and going to the gym. There's no reason why you cannot get fit in your 20s. Your metabolism can adapt to pretty much anything that you eat. You should be able to get fit. As far as money goes, I tell guys, and I get heat for this, I tell guys, you should aim to be a millionaire by the time you're 30. Having $1 million sounds like money to some people, or sounds like a lot of money to some people, but I really don't think they understand or even comprehend how little money $1 million is in today's world. And if you're a 20-year-old that's aiming to be a millionaire by the time you're 30, that's going to be even less significant in 10 years by the time you're 30.
Right.
So I tell guys, become a millionaire by the time you're 30. At the very least, hit it by the time you're 40. By the time you're 50, you should be a multimillionaire, right? So there's work to do there. So we had health goals, we had financial goals. What was the other one?
Dating, relationship goals by age 30.
Yeah, so I subscribe to the notion that men really shouldn't spend a lot of time in long-term committed relationships in their 20s. They should figure out what women are all about, date, probably not invite a woman into their life on a permanent basis. Definitely don't live with a woman in your 20s. And then by the time you're in your 30s, then you can start asking yourself questions like, do I want to have kids? Do I want to raise a family? Do I want to do this married? Do I not want to get married? Do I want to do this in North America? Is there somewhere else that I might want to do this? And sort of weigh out the risk factors and then sort of start planning for that. Ideally, I mean, if you want to have kids, I would say aim for mid 30s, likely. I mean, if you leave it too late, you're going to be an old father and you're going to have pretty low energy. So that's something that you sort of have to contemplate, as far as your dating goals. Some guys can go well into the 30s and 40s and do whatever they want. They'll just date a bunch of women, spin some plates. They'll be monogamous. They'll be non-monogamous. You can do whatever you want in the world. The whole point of unplugging from society's lies is to pick a path, follow it, and do what serves you.
Yeah. The last part you said definitely resonated with this 42-year-old over here who's been living in South Beach for most of his life, spinning plates, making money, having fun. But, oftentimes it's the people closest to you, especially in your 30s, when you hit late 30s, the mother, the grandmother, the father, the cousin, the uncle.
When are you going to get married, Adam?
When are you going to get married, Adam? When are you going to do this? It's like, you have no idea how much fun I'm having.
Settle down and have a family.
Exactly. It's like, you guys all look miserable out there. You're trying to tell me, bring me into misery? As they say, misery loves company. Richard, I'm going to give you slight agreement and slight pushback on something that you just said. So you said, obviously in your 20s, get in shape. You know, I was that dude at like 27, 28 that was a little out of weight. And this is the problem with a lot of people is you make excuses. I would say things like, I don't trust someone who's 30 and has abs. What the hell kind of time do you have? You have abs at age 30? It's like, yeah, now I'm 42 and I'm working on I have abs now. Because it's just an excuse. It's like, well, I'm working. I'm too busy for abs. It's an excuse. So I fully agree with you that in your 20s, health is wealth, for sure. And then as far as like getting married, unless you're the anomaly, exception to the rule, don't even think about getting married by age 30. You might have a girlfriend, that's cool, I get it. Kind of got to understand women. Where I kind of want to give you a little bit of like, I don't know, how realistic is it for someone by age 30 to become a millionaire? Meaning, that should be a goal. Hell yeah, I became a millionaire at age 35. And it took me a lot of time, a lot of effort. But keep in mind, in my early 20s, I was bullshitting, wasting a lot of time. So we're in full agreement that that should be a goal. I guess my question is, how realistic is it for a young man to become a millionaire by age 30 today?
I think it's entirely realistic, but why can't you pick bigger goals? That's the problem is, you know, you're thinking anyway, so why not think bigger? Like, why are people setting small goals for themselves? Like, I want to be worth $100,000 by the time they're 30. $1 million is not that much money. It's not that hard to make, right? You're not going to make it if you're working at the local grocery store stocking shelves. Now, if you're clever and you go about your life in such a way where you're not goofing off with your late teens and your early 20s and you sort of set the groundwork for your life, you can go out there and build a business and make great money. I know lots of 30-year-olds that are millionaires.
This mindset you have is, it's like, you strike me as the type of dude that's like, yeah, thanks for the excuses, buddy, get to work. That's the kind of guy that you remind me of. Is that something that you've always had? Or is that something that you needed to learn? And then follow up is, at what age did you become a millionaire?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I didn't hit it at 30. I probably hit it around 33, 34 or so. Like, when you hold yourself to higher standards, you will get greater results. Like, I don't follow the whole Tony Robbins rah 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 sort of thing, but one of the things that he said that's always resonated with me is, if you want to get better results out of life, hold yourself to higher standards, hold the people around you to greater standards. And, you know, if you set the bar in the sand here, then you're probably going to hit something around here. But if you set the bar in the sand up over here, you're going to do a lot better and have a better chance of getting to that. So holding yourself to higher standards is not that complicated of a thing to do. You just have to go and do it. It's like when I tell guys, like, why do you surround yourselves with losers? If you surround yourself with 5 fat, broke, dumb people that are doing nothing with their lives, you're going to be the 6th. Yeah. Unplug from that mess of losers that you hang out with and surround yourself with better people. Put yourselves in better rooms.
I fully agree with you, and 2 points that I'll give you credit on, which I fully agree with, Richard. It's that your network is your net worth, who you're surrounding 100%. Yourself with, and then setting loftier goals. So one of the best things that has happened in my life is 10 years ago, I met Patrick Bet-David, my CEO, business partner, friend, mentor, working out in the gym, ironically, at a financial conference. And Natalia's family has known Pat for 10 years. I think very highly of her family. She could speak to that. 2 things with that. He says you should set lofty goals and you should reach 80% of them. Why 80? Because if you reach 100% of them, your goals weren't lofty enough. You should kind of get crazy and be like, I agree. Holy shit, I can't believe I reached that. But if you reached 100%, it's like, well, maybe your goals weren't crazy enough, right? And then number 2, you know, we had this conversation with the comedian Brian Callen yesterday, who's I'm a big fan of, great guy.
He's hilarious.
He said, you know, Pat says, you know, you talk about you know, you are the accumulation of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? And Pat goes, yeah, is it really 5 or is it 1? Meaning, of the 5, is there one who really, their words and their actions carry the most weight? And for me, that's Pat, right? Like, I have a network of 5 people, but I'm so lucky to have a guy like Pat in my life, just like I'm sure there's a lot of young men that are counting their blessings. They have Richard Cooper in their life. So is it really 5 or is it 1 that kind of has the biggest influence over you?
Yeah, I think when you're younger, you probably spend time with different size groups, but again, I mean, the person you spend the most time with, you will probably become something like a carbon copy of what they're like. Or you take yourself and them, you kind of average yourselves out. That's where you're going to end up. That's why it's incredibly important to be discerning in your taste with friends that you surround yourself with, women that you decide to invite into your life. It's really important, and it's something that a lot of guys get wrong. They just, when it comes to women, it's the first girl that touches her pee-pee. Oh, she touches my pee-pee, I'm going to go get married to her now. It's like they have no experience and they have no idea what they're doing, right? You have to be discerning in your taste, and nobody tells kids this. This isn't something that they educate kids with in school. Most parents don't really do it because they never really did it themselves. That's where we're at today.
Yeah, of course. I wish they had a class. What should you do with the first girl that touches your pee-pee? Marry her.
Exactly.
No, do not do that. All right,
Wouldn't that be great?
That's great advice for young men by the age of 30.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here. And pinned down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.